For the love of food and drink at O'Hara's Kennebunk, Morning Walk Lane, soups, salads, sandwiches, treats, and meals to go. Thursday to Sunday, 10 to 4. Open today for that big Valentine's Day celebration. So check them out. Thank you for being the sponsor today. A lot of changes coming in the forecast. Let's get into that. Let's throw a pizza in the oven, find out where that mystery pizza is going to end up as we get into the forecast later on in the show. Here is the storm coming in from the south and the west. This is Saturday night into Sunday, where this storm is going to put down a lot of snow on the front end, and then it's going to mix and change over to sleet and freezing rain on the kind of the middle part of the storm and towards the end here. So this one is going to have big time issues and problems, especially outside of the mountains where it's going to be that mixture, right? So this is 10 o'clock at night, Saturday, snow coming into Kittery, the Berwicks, and then ignore the green on the map. That's just the computer model not really knowing what's going on. It'll be cold enough for all snow. It's not going to be raining. So the snow is going to push in here. So Portland, Freiburg, Rumford by 4 o'clock in the morning Sunday. And then it starts to get heavier at 7 o'clock in the morning Sunday. You see those darker blues showing up, and it's snowing heavily at 10 o'clock in the morning. Once again, ignore the green. It's not raining in Millinocket or in Bar Harbor. It's all heavy snow coming through in Augusta and Rangeley. And this model is showing a little bit of a dry slot working in at 1 o'clock in the afternoon after that first wave gets in. And then it fills in very quickly. But also what's happening at this time at 4 o'clock on Sunday, where I stop it, is there's a warm layer or a warm nose in the atmosphere in the sky that's trying to push in some warm air from a very strong jet stream. So what happens is that those snowflakes begin to melt, and you get ice pellets along the coastline where you see the pink showing up. You even get freezing rain. So I-95 corridor, then Route 1. So as you go from Portland to 95, head up Route 1 to Brunswick. And then the snow is moving up into Millinocket, Greenville, snowing heavily Sunday night at 10 o'clock. But we're freezing and mixing in Bangor. We're mixing over in Eastport. And even some rain in Bar Harbor. So that rain, snow, freezing rain line is going to be right there down east and right along the coastline. By 1 o'clock in the morning Monday, it's snowing up in the Western Mountains, up in Clayton Lake and Caribou. But it is no longer snowing for a good chunk of Maine, especially down east, down to the southern coast and the southwest interior. Snow is over by Sunday night. Here's the snowfall map. I've tweaked it a little bit from yesterday, but for the most part, I'm staying with 4 to 8. Now, the more mixing you get down east, you're closer to that 3-4 range. Okay, the less mixing you get in a place like, we'll call it, Augusta, you're a lot closer to that 4, 5, 6-inch range. Okay, 8 to 12, Rumford, Carabasset Valley. Higher elevations, you're going to get obviously around that 12, even 13, but you don't really get the heaviest snow until you get the Katahdin region north, where I have that 12 to 18 stripe. Now, as far as the ice forecast, I said yesterday I was going to update this and really fine-tune it. So here it is. 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch for Lewis and Auburn, Augusta, heading up towards Lincoln, Bangor. And then I have 1/4 to 1/3 for Penobscot Bay and just outside of Ellsworth, where I have 1/3 to 1/2 inch of ice. And this is a combination of freezing rain and sleet, okay? So this is not going to be I don't expect this to be a completely just 100%, freezing rain where you get the ice to basically just stick to everything. There's going to be some sleet that mixes in too, so it's not going to be, a typical kind of ice storm. I don't expect a ton of that. We're right now on the line of where that's going to be, and it all depends on the warm nose in the atmosphere. So if you look at this map, this graphic, you can see it kind of looks like a nose, right? You see that shape? Looks kind of like a nose, right? Because that's the warm air up in the sky that's being pushed in with that very strong wind 10,000 feet up in the sky, right? So what that does is it melts that snow, right? So you get ice pellets and you get freezing rain because the ground temperature is going to be below freezing for the most part. I can see along the immediate coastline that there's going to be an opportunity to get above freezing right along, Route 1, Machias Port, Jonesport, but we'll see. But there is that you see that wedge, right? That warm nose. See, it looks like a nose, and that's what's going to happen. So here's the forecast the next 10 days, so I'll break it down. A lot going on here. for the mountains, it is going to be all snow. So it's all snow. Storm tracker is up all day Sunday, and even some snow in the mountains on Monday, some wraparound as the storm pulls away. And then for President's Day, it's 11 degrees with lows in the sub-zero numbers. That's not the wind chill. That's just the actual air temperature. Then next week, I don't have snow next week in the mountains because the opportunity for snow, I expect it to be, right now, it's the best opportunity is along the coast for that and inland just a bit. I'm still watching the trends for the next week's storm, but we'll just do one storm at a time right now. And Sunday inland, there's going to be ice mixing in. This is not just at the coast, inland too. So storm tracker is up all day. President's Day, we're dry, windy, we get very cold, and then there's an opportunity for some snow inland and coast next week, Thursday into Friday, but still several days to fine-tune that forecast. We'll get through Sunday, and then I'll have a much better idea about what the next storm is going to be. At the coastline, we don't warm up until above freezing until Sunday of next weekend. So we have to get really towards the end of February before we're going to get above freezing. So there's not going to be a lot of melting going on with this. For Nappy's notes, is scattered power outages today without snow. This is just from the wind gusting more than 40 miles an hour, especially on those ridge tops in the western mountains. Storm prep day tomorrow. As the wind settles down, you can really move some snow, get ready, get your grocery shopping done if you're going to be, especially if you're, in the northern mountains where, it's just going to be foot after foot of snow coming. And the weekend storm impacts are going to be from heavy snow and ice. Today, it's just a beautiful day except for that wind, right? West and northwest, gusting to 40 plus, a bluebird day, lots of sunshine. Temps are going to be well below freezing. And then tomorrow, we're becoming cloudy from west to east, and temperatures are going to be hovering in those mid-20s. Typical high this time of the year is 32, and we're starting to go up in the typical numbers here. So as the sun angle gets higher, we get closer to spring, those numbers for typical numbers are going to start to climb into the mid-30s. For the Mariners, big time gale up today, obviously with all the wind. Tomorrow it's much quieter. And now I want to take you through the timeline of the storm in more detail with the weather type here. So this is a look at what's going to be happening as we get into Saturday and Sunday. So it's all snow, but watch the changeover here. So you're seeing that changeover happening, and that is at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday. Notice here, you've got sleet mixing in with freezing rain in southern Maine. And I'll do down east and northern Maine right after this, but it just shows you the mixing going on. So you get the sleet and with a shallow warm wedge or warm nose of air, and then with a bigger warm wedge, you're going to get that freezing rain in Sanford and Portland. But this is going to be a heavy, wet snow. It starts off as somewhat light and fluffy, but look here how the snow character, so the ratio gets very heavy and wet. This is Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock, okay? And the start times are after 7 o'clock Saturday in southern Maine, and 1 o'clock in the morning Sunday for Augusta, Rockland, and then 7 o'clock in the morning up in Jackman. Then we'll go down east and head up to northern Maine now, where it's going to be mixing over this storm by 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon Sunday. You see there down east, Ellsworth, Machias, Eastport. And notice how that wintry mix moves inland to Lincoln by 8 o'clock at night Sunday. And then it moves all the way up to Holton by 11 o'clock Sunday. So that all the way up Route 1. So it is going to be a wintry mix. And there's even that freezing rain along the coastline, but then it changes back over to all snow at 2 o'clock in the morning on Monday, okay? And it's heavy and wet. No light and fluffy stuff here. To start off, I could see that, but heavy, wet snow that's going to be accumulating from this storm. So that's a look at the storm right there. You see the updates. I'm going to have more updates, obviously, but we can't forget about the pizza, right? Let's go ahead and see where our mystery pizza is going to be. And there it is. That is a pizza I made with Chef Ole. I believe it's Back Road Bakery. Correct me if I'm wrong, in Alfred. We made this at the White Sails Inn. This was made in that Gosney pizza oven at the White Sails Inn that for the pizza cooking class. And this pizza didn't last long. Yes, mushrooms. 100% mushrooms on the pizza. One of my favorite pizzas here. I made that with Chef there and our group there, and it was a great time, a really great time, great memories there. This was back in around my birthday last year, so it was a great time for sure. So I thank you so much for being here and following along. Updates will be coming up at least once a day, if not twice a day, on Facebook, and several updates there, and also right here on jasonnappyweather.com and nappycast.com.